I was in Camp Roberts. I went through training there. A whole busload of us went to Frisco to take the Air Corps test, and only 3 of us passed it. And then I went back and I got into the Air Corps. So I ended up being a co-pilot. And I flew half my missions as a co-pilot and the last half of them as a pilot. Oh, I was riding around the car with a girl. Ryan was one of them, and then that was basic training. I ended up in the twin engine training in Marfa, Texas, and I passed that. Then they put me in there, they sent me to B-24s. I trained in 17s, but I got assigned to B-24s because there were more of them than there were 17s. Some of my group was 18 years old. I was 25 when I was flying in combat. Well, they both had 4 engines. They both flew about alike, but the B-24 had twin tails. B-17 just had a single tail. The B-24 was a little faster. But B-17 would climb higher. B-17 made me unhappy when I had to go to B-24s. 8 hours in the air is what most of the missions were. From Ploest to end, it was a 4-hour flight, I guess. Cold. To get up, my feet almost froze off. We had heaters in them, but if you jockeying the throttles back and forth, the heaters would go out, they'd quit. So we didn't have any heaters at high altitude. One time, we flew every day for a week, and then sometimes we'd get 2 or 3 days off. When we turned down the bomb run, I always said a little prayer. But other than that, I didn't think anything of it. I was too busy to be scared. They shot down one fighter plane. He was flying along trying to get her altitude, and they shot him down. 36. When we were all in the air, there were 36 on a mission. There were probably 50 in the group, and the fighters, they wouldn't go all the way to the target. They'd meet us at the target. P-38s, the P-51s and P-38s, they both go to the target and escorted us home. I remember one time, they'd make a contrail, and there were a bunch of P-51s and the German fighters going at it. I saw them shooting down German planes, and some of ours would go down too. Didn't have much fighter trouble, mostly flak. The flak was there all the time, but the fighters, they didn't get it to us much. Our fighters kept them off. Oh, he said there's a plane on our tail, and I said, well, if he's a German plane, shoot the son of a bitch. When we took a B-24 overseas, and we stopped in Africa and trained there a little bit, and I got a motorcycle, hung it in the Bombay and hauled it to Italy. All of them. Yeah.
You're the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a reputation to bringing crippled airplanes home. Shoot my windshield out a time or two. I got to DFC, we got a prop shot off when I was a co-pilot. Then when I was a pilot, over Ploesti, I got the controls shot out. I had to fly it with the throttles. What happened? They got the controls, and also one of the chains on my aileron was wrapped around us, so I'd be tilting over like that. So we had to use all our rudder to hold the plane steady on the way home. So the co-pilot and I both took turns till we didn't, and then we used the throttles to steer with. I had 8 different engines shot out. Well, I always had 3, most of the time 3. Like on the one time on the final approach, I lost all of them, but I got it down all right. Yeah, one time the ball turret, I couldn't get him up, couldn't get him out of it. I had to land the plane with the guy in the ball turret, and I was pretty careful with that one.
Early in the war, Franklin Roosevelt wryly stated, Hitler may have built a fortress around Europe, but he forgot to put a roof on it. In the last 2 years, by destroying German industry and crippling her ability to wage war, American and British round-the-clock bombing had been critically important to the final victory. The costs were high. 25,000 American airmen were killed. 19,000 were missing, most presumed dead. Almost 40% of all the flying fortresses built were lost to enemy action. But air power had made the difference. At Regensburg and Ploesti, over Normandy Beach and Bastogne, said one German field marshal, without question, Allied air power was the chief factor in Germany's defeat.
Well, Vienna and Ploesti were the 2 hot ones. Vienna was, Ploesti had 800 guns, I guess, something like that. Well, the worst day we lost 8 over Vienna one time. And over Ploesti we usually lost 2 or 3. Bill Greene, or William A. Greene, November the 3rd, 1917.